To call the Board of County Commissioners meeting to order today. It's Tuesday, October 31st. Would everybody please rise for our pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Katnig?
Present. I'm in Las Vegas, New Mexico. I had some problems last night.
Commissioner Hood?
Present.
Commissioner Prince?
Present.
Attorney Clint Smith? And Clerk to the Board, Kelly Camper, present.
Okay. Jay, do we have any amendments to our agenda?
I do not have any.
Okay, we'll proceed. Okay, approval of the October 18 minutes.
I reviewed them and found them to be complete. I'll make a motion that we approve the October 18 minutes.
Okay, I'll second that motion as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, let's have audience introductions. Tom, we'll start with you.
Tom Flower, Westcliff.
Nancy York.
Wilson Jarvis.
Jackie Bubas for the Sentinel.
State Senator Larry Crowder.
Kelly Cole.
Patty King.
Jackie Hobby Zoning.
Isme Delac.
Tony Dillon.
Okay, thank you. All right. Commissioner items. Jay.
Well, I don't have any specific commissioner items other than I've been working down in Wetmore. The sink that's been an ongoing problem is in the process of being replaced. It's on order. It should come in this Thursday, and I sent an email down to the Wetmore Library to disseminate with the folks down there to coordinate when that will be replaced and put in. Hearing no other issues down there, I suspect that's going to be the last of it for a while, I hope.
Okay. I'll just add to that. I've been in touch with the higher-ups at CenturyLink, and by November 10th, that whole issue with the cables and the telephone lines will be resolved.
Great.
Also, I attended to support our VSO on October 19th. He had a really nice reception for our veterans and speakers to help with protocol. And it was very interesting to hear what our veterans, as far as red tape and trying to get any sort of medical assistance, it's just unbelievable what they have to go through. So hopefully with what was presented, it's going to get a little easier for them in the future. Also on last Wednesday, the 25th, I attended the Colorado Digital Government Summit for the day, and that was interesting. I actually sat for lunch with all of our SIPA supporters that helped us get our internet video streaming, so it was nice meeting them. They had a little bit of a trade show with sponsors there, so you got to see the new improved technology that's out there from everybody under the sun that's involved in information technology. I made some really good contacts. One especially I want to talk about when we sit with Randy as far as recycling for our county for different types of printers, whatever. So that was a good contact that was made. And that's all I have. Obviously, our attorney's not here, so Brenda.
I don't have a whole lot, Donna.
Okay.
I've been somewhat out of pocket, but the one thing I would like to pass along, I understand we have Senator Crowder this morning. I would like to welcome him to our meeting, and I would also like to tell him of the wonderful success that we're having with our Veteran Service Officer. Tim is doing a wonderful job, and we'll just keep growing. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Next will be the administrative assistant items. Brenda?
Do you want me to come up there?
Sure.
I really don't have too much.
Be easier for Bob to hear you.
Yeah. Sure. Madame.
Happy Halloween.
I did forward to you that we got the DOLA grant for the Hermit Bridge project.
Yes.
So, thank you. I don't know if it was me as much as it was Gary, but Gary knows what's going on. So, I guess we need to have that as a topic for discussion with Gary tomorrow to see where you want to go from here with it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Kudos to you and to Gary
thank you.
for ramrodding this through, getting it done, following up, doing all the things that you do. Both of you and Gary did a great job, and I and the county appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Christy Dune will be getting the paperwork together for us. So
Okay.
as soon as that's ready, then we'll be needing to sign that. So the other thing is the live streaming. Chuck and I set up all the equipment. I think it was last Thursday, and
Up here.
yeah, we had it all set up like we were going to do it today, and for some reason the iPad was not picking up the microphones, so we could not figure out how to get it to pick up the microphones. So that is why we're not ready today.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
There's no rush.
so
We want it
I'd
to be
like
right.
to ask just a moment on the bridge. I'm still waiting to hear back from CDOT, but they thought we would be able to cut that bid down from that original $250,000.
that would be good. So yeah, I guess that's something you need to discuss then with Gary on tomorrow.
Okay.
I guess it is. So, and that's all I have.
Okay, well, I noticed you did a lot of insurance work in the last couple of weeks. You want to bring everybody up to date?
Oh yeah, sure. So we did sign the contract with the CTSI for the health insurance, and now I have the applications, and we're going to do meetings November 14th and 15th with all the employees if they so choose to come to the meetings. We'll start at 7 a.m. over at Road and Bridge on the 14th, so they can have their meeting and then go out and do their work. So, and I sent it to everybody so they could fill it out ahead of time if they wanted to.
Okay.
And so far, the feedback that I've been getting is that they're very happy
Good.
with the change, specifically the mail order
Drugs.
prescriptions. I guess they were having problems with the ones that we had before, so they're
Okay.
the new one will be Express Scripts, so they're excited about that.
Good.
So
And I think the dental and the vision looks better too.
yeah,
Yeah, I think all the way around it's a better choice for us. And hope that CTSI can retain everybody that's in their pool because that's what made the price go down.
right.
So,
Yeah,
all good.
and since CTSI is specifically for counties, they sort of understand
Right,
our needs better. So
right. Good job. Good job.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Could you clarify how much money the county is saving by changing our insurance? Just an estimate.
26.
I'm sorry.
Was it that
How much we saving?
126 grand?
You know, I think that was total, but the county specifically, I think it was 50,000
Very
per year.
significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Great job.
Okay.
okay.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have old business and Kelly Cole vacating the road in Sierra City request. Come on up. Jackie, you need to be here.
Good. How you guys doing? Thank you for listening to us on this.
Jackie, you outdid yourself. Thank you for that in the note. it was very nice of you to do that.
So Mr. Cole has requested that the road Kildare, correct?
Tralee.
Tralee?
Yeah.
Gets vacated down between your property
And Patty
and
King's.
Mrs. King's.
Yes.
Okay. Which is no problem because you're not going to landlock anyone. Now the problem is, did I hear that you wanted to vacate this because somebody was parking down there?
No, it's a couple problems with it. One is they'll pull their trucks and trailers in there, and then they block our access, especially to hers. And they'll put it in the middle. When you try and get a trailer or anything into your property, you can't get there because they think it's just a parking lot. And it could be from any neighbors or anybody that's just walking around. Now, secondly, what happens is in the middle of the winter, they plow all the snow up into into that section there to where we can't get into our driveways in the middle of winter, all winter long half the time. So
No, when you say they plow it, is that the road and bridge or the neighbors?
No, it's the road and bridge. They'd stockpile all of it instead of pushing it off the side of the road. They'd block it into that and then block us out of our property.
So, as you notice on the map, your property extends
Hers 6 feet past.
6 feet.
Yes.
So, they're not going to landlock anyone. I don't see no problem with it. Usually when you have two neighbors, they split the road in half. And each gets half of that road. Would you like to see the map?
I see. This is one that backs up onto the line. I'm very familiar with this. One of the questions, Mr. Cole, that has come out.
This was its area in here.
It's right here.
Okay. So we discussed this prior to. So what's the difference between this meeting and last meeting?
Because the procedure needs to be done correctly. It's
If I may interject, Madam Chairman?
Okay. Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, the issue we have is in most of our county right-of-ways, we just have a right-of-way, and the landowner actually owns the land of the center of the road. In this case, that's not the situation because the actual road right-of-ways were deeded to us maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So what we have, we could shut the road for access, but we cannot, in my mind, we cannot give them that land because it's county property.
You want to say anything?
we have done it in Rosita numerous times.
He needs to hear
Okay,
you.
Bob, we vacated roads in the town of Rosita and other little places. About 20 roads were vacated in Rosita that were never built. And we halved the property between the two adjoining landowners.
My issue is, it doesn't matter what we've done, this is county property, public property, and if we're gonna dispose of it, I think we have to go through a procedure, to do that. I don't think we can just automatically say, yeah, you can have this and you can have that. Maybe we did it in Rosita a long time ago, but, again, I don't know if we actually had the right-of-ways, if we actually had the ownership of the roads in Rosita, or if those roads were just a right-of-way.
They were on the platted map, just like what we're seeing in the Lake Dewey's area.
Well, I made my point. I think it's something we have to look at. I think we need a legal opinion on that because it's something that is county property, and just because we've done it in the past doesn't mean that it's right. I have no problem with shutting off the road for access, and we still maintain the property, the ownership of the property.
If I can ask a question, if I may, just go. One of the questions that came up to us was signage saying that don't park vehicles here, and we could talk to Road and Bridge, and I'm sure Gary would be happy not to put. If there's an issue, he'll fix that. I know him. Do you think signage would be able to alleviate this issue?
Probably not. I mean, the other problem is that then when we have people coming over to visit us, then they're not going to be able to park out on this roadways or in front of that if we're being able to use it. So people that are not using it properly is the problem. If you say no access, no problem, and then it's going to say that even people that come visit me are not allowed to park there, or Miss King to have people park there either. So that'd create probably another issue on top of no access.
I don't see a problem if we just say that this road is the end of the road, or road closed, or whatever, no parking. But then when people come to visit you, the only people that are going to be out there patrolling it would be the sheriff's department or the Department of Wildlife. And I don't think I would see no problem or reason to give anybody a bad time if they park there. They're visiting you folks because they're your guests.
Okay.
How about if we just wait?
Clint's opinion.
Bob, I think your point about having a legal opinion is a good one, and I would recommend that we put this off for a future meeting and let our attorney give us an opinion.
That's fine.
Take into consideration the things that Bob's bringing up, and I concur with Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. I also do. We've got meetings scheduled the next 2 days, but we don't know what Clinton's situation is, so I'm going to say
It's not an urgent thing on my behalf, so.
Okay.
Super.
All right.
I think we want to
Thank
work
you.
with you and help.
That's fine.
This problem, we just want to do it properly.
I understand, yeah.
According to.
And the one that's mostly affected is Patty, because she is landlocked. I've got access to the front of my property if somebody does lock us. She is totally blocked in unless she has that property access right there.
Got it.
So,
Okay, in the meantime, I'll go take some pictures and stuff. And do you want me to confirm with Clint through the email?
Yeah,
We'll go from
I
there.
think that'd be great. I mean,
okay,
we understand the issues, and
that's
we
fine.
want to work with you.
That's fine. No, just no urgent here,
I
so.
don't see any problem with you folks using that. The only problem I have is just cutting it down the middle and giving each of you half that right away. But to shut it off and say, disclose to the public, and you use it and so forth, I think is entirely appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, the only thing, it's mainly affecting her because then she is totally blocked out of her property, and that's what's just.
Certainly don't want to do that.
Yeah, so. Okay, well, thank you.
Well, we will continue
you
with
for
the
your
time.
discussion, and we'll get it resolved.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you. ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, next up on the agenda are the RETAC board appointments. So, I know we were given some recommendations from Chuck and also Cindy, and we received some letters. So, do you have any comments?
I don't individually know the people who have been recommended, but I trust the people who have made the recommendations to us, so I'm fine with the recommendations that they've made.
Okay, but we're going to have to narrow it down.
Yeah, I understand.
Bob, do you have any comments before I mention names?
Well, we had, I'm trying to remember here, but we had Cindy and we had the lady from EMS. Beth?
Let me just tell you, with regards to EMS, what was suggested was having a person from EMS with an EMS alternate, having our public nurse with OEM as an alternate, having Dave Tonsig as SAR, Larry Weber as an alternate. So the two people that are up in emergency, up in EMS, are Molly Lantis and Christopher Kosher. Do you remember those letters?
Right.
So
I'd like to know the thoughts of you two. What do you think about the committee?
well, I think we should keep Beth, Alyssa, and Dave as the primary, and the alternates with Cindy for Alyssa and Larry Weber for Dave. And then I'm really up in the air because I don't know Molly or Christopher other than from their letters for Beth as an alternate.
And that was my point, so I don't know those two folks.
Do you know either one, Bob, Molly or Christopher?
No, I don't, but I don't. Excuse me, but I don't see why we couldn't approve those five and ask the other two to come to the meeting so we can visit with them and interview
Okay. We'll have Brenda make that arrangement for us. So Molly and Christopher need to come to a meeting. Otherwise, we're going to state it as Beth, Alyssa, Cindy as an alternate, Dave Tonsing, and Larry Weber as an alternate as we speak. So we still have to replace or just provide an alternate for EMS.
I'll make a motion that we appoint those 5 people.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Next on the agenda is the closing of the account miscellaneous number 731. Was labeled Community Development Fund. The revised amount that was initially discussed is now $1,750.54. Jay, do you want to have a discussion?
Yeah, I'll take the lead on this, thank you. My last board meeting, we approved closing this account that has been inactive for over 20 years. At the time we did it, I had spoken with, I don't know, I just went blank.
Oh, Judy Lenz.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. They approved us to move the money to our affordable housing, which is what the account originally was really designed for. When we approved it, the only information we had that there was $1,200 in the account. Subsequent to that, we got a memo stating that the actual amount in the account is $1,750.54. So I would like to retract the motion. I'm not sure what the proper way to do this. Do we withdraw the approval previously and make a new one for the new amount, or can we just amend the amount? I really don't know the answer.
I think we have to just amend the amount, Jay, because we approved the motion as a matter of public record.
Okay, sounds good.
So what I would suggest we do is that we make a motion amending the amount of the transfer to $1,750.54.
Okay, that sounds fine. I just wasn't sure on procedure, so I'll go ahead and I'll make a motion that we leave the previous motion in place with the change of the amount of money being transferred to the Custer County Affordable Housing Committee from the $1,200 previously approved to the $1,750.54 that we believe to be the correct amount now.
Okay. I'll second that motion as stated. Any other discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Can I ask a question? May I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. Is there any thought to deducting that $1,750 from their $10,000 request for the budget?
Is any other comments on that?
Not really. This is money that's been sitting around for 20 years or more, just sitting in this account unused. It's just been carried over year for year. I think the $10,000 that is in the budget that has not been completely approved yet, but is being requested in the budget, is for a different purpose. That's to get the studies done on affordable housing. So I feel it'd be appropriate to do both.
I agree. Any other comments, Bob?
I think very comfortable doing this. If it's something we've talked about with our auditors, and this has basically been a dormant account that had some very stringent use on how it can be applied, and I think this is a proper measure to follow.
Okay. Guess that answered your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Next is the sheriff's grant application. Do we have anybody from the sheriff's department? Yes. Come on up.
Well, good morning again.
Hi, good morning. You look cute.
And how are you?
And so do you.
So, you want to discuss your application?
Sure. Recently, Beth Archuleta from EMS was looking over our AEDs, of which I think we have 12 or 13. I don't remember the exact amount. and realized that some of them were, the batteries were dying and the pads were out of date. And for some reason, when they get their AEDs yearly maintained, we typically, I guess, bring ours over and participate in that at no charge. But this year, that didn't happen.
Okay.
For whatever reason. I'm not
Did
involved.
you have to replace batteries? 'Cause
We're
they're
going to have,
expensive.
we need to replace batteries on several, we need to replace pads on several, and then the yearly maintenance on them is $30 to $40 depending on each machine. And normally that $30 to $40 is covered when they get theirs done. We can have ours done in that. But that didn't happen for whatever reason this year. Anyway, Beth has found a grant from Walmart Corporation to reimburse us up to $2,500, and so that is what this is. It's a reimbursement. Walmart Corporation calls it a grant,
Okay.
but we don't have to match, and we don't have to report back to them. But we do have to obviously have the grant paperwork, and then there's a letter that I included in the package that they would like to have sent in with the request.
Okay.
A question, if I may, please. I see the grant is apply for a total amount of $2,500, but then in the grant itself, you're asking for $1,765.
The maximum amount of the grant is $2,500. We only anticipate needing in that $1,700.
Okay.
But I wanted to leave it open to the $2,500 just in case when we get into the nitty gritty and we find out that it's $1,850 instead of $1,730, or whatever the price might be.
I appreciate Beth finding this.
If I may, I looked through that grant earlier, and I think it's something that needs to be done. It's equipment that we have to have, and I wholeheartedly endorse the recommendation that we proceed.
Okay.
I concur with Bob, and
Okay.
as a,
I concur too, Bob. The grant is here for signature. Do you want
I
this
will be
help?
in the office. I can be in the office later this afternoon, or we'll be there in the morning.
Okay, so I'll leave this for you then. Okay,
so I make a motion that we approve the pre-grant application from the Sheriff's Department with the Walmart Foundation Community Grant for a maximum of $2,500, currently requesting $1,765.
okay. I'll second that motion as stated. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right?
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kudos to Beth also.
I know, she did a great job.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
she helped me write the whole thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is new business, reviewing the vouchers and the signed checks.
Are we going to get our voucher lady in? Of course.
She doesn't need to, we just have to.
Okay. Well, I have a question. That's
You do
why I
have a
was asking.
question?
Yeah.
Okay, well then
Just-
we've got to get her on the phone.
Oh, is she not here?
No. So,
Gosh, I'm sorry to slow the process down because the question's probably half innocuous, but I'll ask it anyway.
Sorry, Jay, I think you lost me.
I'm sorry, sir?
he hasn't said anything. We're trying to get
Yeah.
Brenda on the line.
Yeah, we're gonna get
He's got a
Brenda.
question.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
have a
trying to get
question
John.
on one expenditure and then a series of expenditures. I was just asking for an explanation because I'm not sure where this fit in.
What is it? I might be
Okay,
able.
and that'd be great if you do. The $1,500 for the weight kiosk.
Oh, yeah.
The question is that a county program or is that a clinic program?
That's a public health nurse
Okay,
program.
okay,
Um,
that's all I had.
oh, okay.
Okay, and the other one
Well,
was,
maybe she didn't need to come then.
I also noticed there was, you can cancel her, I was concerned that we were mixing apples with the clinic and I didn't want to do that. I noticed there was a series of donations on there and I was just curious as to what and where that was all coming from.
Yeah, and I think Donna can answer that better than I can.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I believe that that weight kiosk thing, there's a grant that backs that up.
Okay.
That they got a grant and then they paid for it out of that grant money.
We're talking about the kiosk out there at the health department.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a grant for a couple of years for that kiosk, and I think that grant may have expired. But we are reaching a fair number of people, and it's a program we thought was important to continue to offer to the people of the county.
Okay.
And Donna might know for sure if that expired or not.
Yeah.
Well, my question was really not whether we should expend that amount of money. My question was really, was this a clinic expenditure or a county expenditure? That was my only question. And
Okay.
it's clear that it's a
Yeah,
county
she's on her
expenditure.
way, so.
Okay, thank you.
But I can answer the donation part. Okay. I committed to up to $10,000 for our sheriff's department's needs. So those are donations for his department regarding there was a radio need of almost $2,000, uniforms. So as he's coming up with his needs, I'm donating.
So this is a personal donation from you?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice of you to do that. I appreciate it. Publicly, I appreciate it.
He's got limited funding and needs are there.
Well done. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry to call you over.
That's all right, I need to stretch anyway.
Just don't lose any more weight.
Actually, Donna,
Donna?
she could probably, we need to make the motion to approve those and she can take them.
Okay, perfect.
I'll move that we approve the vouchers as submitted.
I'll second that motion. Any other discussion?
I think it's important that you two made and seconded the motion because you're in the building. That's all that's necessary, but I fully concur.
Okay. I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Motion carried. Okay, next up is Custer County Economic Development. Mr. Vogel. Mr. Jarvis, come on up.
And
Good morning, sir. How you
Dale
doing?
Mullen is joining us. By
Okay.
morning.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Dale. Good morning.
I really like your
Good morning.
costume. You look like an attorney.
Don't spread the word.
Good morning, Dale.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Dale, your video is on, so don't embarrass us.
I won't.
Okay. Who's going to take the lead?
I've got that straw, I believe.
Okay.
I have a hard time sitting across the table with you with that garb. Based on our previous submittal and the indicated support for the tower program, what I'm asking today, like we previously had when we were basically directed and it became a matter of record that Custer County Economic Development would function on behalf of the county to find finances. We have found those, and now we wish that we'd have direction and information as far as forwarding and supporting the 3 grant requests. And there's a certain degree of urgency in the fact that the DOLA grant request is due today by close of business, and we're prepared to support that, and that the Elpamar grant is due 1 December, or 30, I wrote that down wrong, it's 1 December.
I'm sorry.
And then the Federal Economic Development Grant is basically more open, and we're expecting that we can start that process soon after the DOLA grant request has been accepted.
Okay.
So the grants are for the additional 4 towers that we've discussed?
6.
6 towers, I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Are these matching grants?
No, the federal and the DOLA, well, the federal is not. The DOLA, that's where we've been indicated by DOLA that a local contribution in the order of $50,000 would be adequate considering the financial capabilities of Custer County. The normal sum that has been indicated to us by DOLA would be $300,000 to $500,000. So they've indicated verbally that $50,000, and that's where our ELPMR grant, because we've got a state grant with DOLA, a federal grant with economic development, so, and you can't duplicate those. So ELPMR is indicated a willingness to support us with $25,000 in matching funds, and then we will solicit from the populace of Custer County to make that matching funds.
Can you discuss deadlines?
Well, like I say, DOLA or ELPMR is today. And we've been working, and that grant is virtually ready to submit for midnight tonight, and we're working with the COG on that. The ELPMR is 1 December, and we wouldn't expect approval for that until like the first quarter of 2018.
So if I can, I'm going to just make sure that I got this under control. At this point, you're not asking for any county money, is that correct?
That's
and
correct.
These grants are not, the county's not going to be required to make any matching funds at this time, is that correct?
If you'll remember, yes. But if you'll remember, if for some reason we had a deficit on our county matching funds, which I really don't expect, then that's we mentioned in the budget discussions of a potential for support for that.
You have reduced that. So what do you need from us today?
I need basically permission to work on behalf of the county to work these 3 grants, and I also asked who would be the principal point of contact with the BOCC.
Yesterday. Well, the first part of it, I'd be happy to move that we approve the venture to this point, approve the grants to this point, and reserve any funds that the county may be asked to in the future that may or may not come. So I would approve this.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the grants.
I will second that motion as stated. And I just, for the sake of one of our guests today, Senator Crowder, may not be aware of the fact, I think you two have some bragging rights here that you should say. What we're talking about as far as expense covered to build these towers, what these gentlemen and the one that is visiting by phone have done. So
We did finish a study this spring to increase the broadband coverage in the rural parts of the county, and identified 6 tower locations that would basically double the internet coverage from about 40% coverage to about 80% coverage. The estimated, and one clarification, we did cut the grant total because DOLA is limited to $1 million because of their other funding issues, and hence the Federal Economic Development Administration for matching funds would only be $1 million. So we're talking about now, and with our matching fund with ELPMR, just a little over $2 million to cover that, and we've reviewed the cost as indicated in our study, and we still believe that that's adequate to cover the 6 towers. So, and with this process that we're initiating, hopefully we would be able to start construction next summer, during our summer construction period. And the only question we have is whether we will in fact be able to do them all in that period next year.
At the same time. So this is a major stepping stone for us, Senator, and a major feat that has been undertaken. And also Tony of IT that spoke last Wednesday, when I was bragging about this group, people could not believe that they were given the task and then went out and got the funding. that is needed. So that's a major accomplishment for our county to move forward in
Well,
helping.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything I can do to assist in the future, let me know.
Okay.
I've got your phone number and your email, obviously.
I just thought I'd say that publicly.
You never should have said that.
Okay,
Excellent
so
job, guys.
we have the motion, we have a second. I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
What?
I'm not clear, Charles, on the amount of money that
That you're cutting out, Bob. Say it again.
I'm not clear on the amount of money that the county is going to be obligated for.
Right now, 0.
Right now, 0.
Okay, that's a good deal, because the other funding after the first of the year will come out of next year's budget, and that's not been approved yet.
Right.
Understood. And there shouldn't be any cash flow prior to the beginning of 2018, even with these grants. So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I've called for the question. Bob, we couldn't hear your vote.
Aye, yes.
Okay, that's 3 of us. Motion carried. Thank you.
who should
And thank you.
be the designated
Contact.
county contact?
I don't mind.
Whatever, doesn't matter to me.
I'll be your contact, and I'll help you with this, and we'll get this done somehow.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay,
Sounds
thank you,
great.
gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You still look like a
Thank
lawyer.
you. Thank you, Dale.
Dale, you have any comments?
I want to say thank you also. So thank you, Dale. Thank you, Charles.
Commissioners.
Okay,
Very good.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Next, Kelly, Department of Revenue MOU.
So part of what I do is monthly I get a report from the Department of Revenue that tells all the taxes that businesses have paid, and then the lodging taxes also. And I review that report and just make sure that it looks like it's all good and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Once in a while, and it usually comes from Jackie Hobby. She will run into somebody who's got a bed and breakfast going or something that has not, she's not sure is paying those taxes. And so then I get with the Department of Revenue and they send out a letter to people and let them know how that works. So yearly we have to do an MOU with them, just stating that I'm that contact person and that I will abide by all their rules and not share that information. And so I just have those and it just needs a signature.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on that for you?
I don't know if you need to vote on it. In the past years, usually the chairman or vice chairman has just signed it. I guess you guys can make a motion to sign it if you want, or you can just sign it.
I think where this is just an in-house bookkeeping thing between us and the state, I think that a signature without a motion would be appropriate.
Bob, do you want that also saved for this afternoon for you?
That'll be fine.
Okay. Any other discussion, Jen?
Nope,
Okay, good, we're good to go.
good to go.
All right. Brenda, fire extinguisher
Hi,
inspections.
I'm back.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, yes. It's been so long. Okay. So you should have gotten the quote from Rocky Mountain Fire Extinguisher. Yearly, we have our fire extinguishers serviced and inspected to make sure that they're still working properly and they're charged and everything. The other thing I have here is a quote for a 10-pound fire extinguisher for the garage over here. Evidently, there's no fire extinguisher in there. So, just need an approval to get this going.
Okay.
So,
One
That was
thing,
about $600, wasn't it?
Yeah, with the new one.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I'd just like to make a comment. We have the extinguishers, but you may not have everybody in this courthouse that understand how to use an extinguisher. I'm going to request that Rocky Mountain Fire Extinguisher do a practice in our back lot.
Okay.
Okay, just so everybody knows, because you've got new employees here, and really it's just a matter of safety for everybody to know where they are
Great
and how to
suggestion.
use them.
Yeah, Mike Halpin usually interfaces with the gal that comes from Rocky Mountain, and he has a map or something that says where every fire extinguisher is. But usually he coordinates, so I will ask him to coordinate that with her.
But that should also be in the garage, and I'm going to assume, I know Kelly, you store some things in the garage, but also for Anthony right now. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a few things, a few people have some stuff over there.
Okay.
Madam Chairperson, I would like to make a motion that we authorize the recharging of these extinguishers and that we proceed to have a fire drill, including the location of the extinguishers and evacuation of the buildings.
Okay. Can we add use of those extinguishers too?
Pardon me?
Can we add the use of the extinguishers to your motion?
Yes.
And can we also add the addition of a 10-pound extinguisher that we need to acquire that we don't already own?
I think that's already in the bid, but yes.
No, actually, it was separate, I thought.
They're two separate bids, but I presented them together, so.
Okay. All right, so we have a
I'll second the
first.
motion.
Jay has second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
Do we want to save that for Bob for this
Sure.
afternoon too?
Sure.
All in your hands.
Okay. I
Thank you,
have
Brenda.
paperwork for you, Bob.
Well, I'm about 4 hours from you.
Okay.
Get off the phone, I'll head north.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Bob, the next item on the agenda is public comment, and we have no executive session today. So,
Okay.
anybody from the audience that would like to make a public comment at this time? Yes, Senator.
Well, I was just in the area and I thought I'd stop by and see ya.
Okay.
Senator, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Always great to see you, sir.
You know, I tend to try and get out to see all the counties every year. And this year I'm in 4 interim committees and it's just gotten me backed up.
If I may speak just a moment to the senator. As we move forward, Larry, I think we've got a real issue ahead of us on mitigation and the Forest Service. They're basically looking at mitigation and recreation, and they're not looking at some of the other things that we use our national forests for. Maybe you and I can get on the phone sometime and visit.
Well, I do know that the comment period is going pretty much now. So, you know, everybody can comment on that, but it is something that we do struggle with to try and...
No, I'm not talking about what's currently here. I don't know if you're aware or not, but I've found out that we have, I think, 5 units of firefighting located in our region, and they want to move 2 of those to California, which will further decrease our response capabilities.
translate.
Bob,
Are you-
Larry is uncertain about what you're discussing. Can you clarify that a little further?
Are you talking? Are you talking about the federal government paying their?
I'm talking about the federal government, and I'm talking about maybe the state will need to take a position so that we can keep these resources in our region, that they don't go to California.
Understood. All I can tell you is it's a constant struggle on that aspect. You know, I thought you were heading toward the cost of fighting fires sharing.
No, this is a new deal. This is just trying to I guess the Forest Service is kind of aiming nationwide towards mitigation, and we want to be a part of that, but I don't want us to lose our other activities at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
And thank you, Larry, for being here today. I appreciate it.
Well, if you remember, you invited me to this one, and I don't know that it's all that fair that you're not here, but that's okay. That's okay. No, I wanted to come and hear about the broadband. Something we work on quite a bit, and it's something that needs to be done. I know the court case was actually just resolved recently on the money on the broadband bill, so hopefully things will open up a little bit, but it has been a struggle. But anyway, I appreciate Custer County's involvement and their forward thinking on this. I know you passed 252 last year or two, so I think that's going to be a big help. But it's something that is needed. I've been trying to get my cell phone to work since I come in here.
Good luck.
Well, you have to have what do you call it, a code to get on Wi-Fi, but that's okay.
It's right. It's there. It's there.
It could be worse, Larry. You haven't had to call 911 yet and not have your cell phone work.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, and I think it's time, rural Colorado. What we've been working on too. One of the interim committees is the jailhouse overcrowding, which we are pushing for. And this is related to what we're talking about, but what it does is push televised court hearings from one county to another. And, if we can get that through, that will actually indicate and help get broadband into areas. So, we're doing everything we can to work toward it. So, but anyway, I appreciate Custer County's, forward thinking on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we've been lucky. We have two people, Charles Vogel and Dale Mullen, that have continued to carry the ball. And I would like to take credit, but I've got to share with those gentlemen and others also.
I didn't hear him.
Senators also. He saying he can't take all the credit. He's giving credit back to the economic development.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been working with Charles since day one on this, and I know how hard he works on this, and it's almost a passion with him. Mm-hmm. So I'm very supportive of what they can get done here, and we'll continue to be supportive. But anyway, I just thought I'd stop in and check on that and visit with you a minute and let normally I'm around more often, but due to the interim committees, I've been tied up considerable amount in Denver, but I'm trying to make up for lost time now.
Thank you. Well, thanks for visiting.
Well, it's always a pleasure coming to the county.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Madam?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, do we have any other further public comments? If not, I'm going to call for our meeting to be adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the help.
Yep.
Have a safe trip back.
All right, Bob.